Many people are starting their morning just like we are. They're out here at their kids' sporting events, hoping for the best, hoping for maybe a win, more importantly, hoping just for a safe journey through the day. That's why we made this video. We want you to understand that many times in all these sporting events, whether your child's in football or soccer or basketball or volleyball, that many times your child's health is left to the decision of maybe a parent or a coach who necessarily doesn't have the training medically to know if there's been an injury, if it's something that should be treated or not treated, or prevented or not prevented. And so we wanted to make just a little short video that might help you. So if your child's been injured, the one thing that you can remember to do is the formula called RICE, which is rest, ice, compression, and elevation. So if you have a sprained ankle, then make sure to rest it, ice it, you can compress it, and elevate it above your heart. And that's the best thing you could do for the first 24 hours, and sometimes even for the first 48 hours. And that will get you the best results possible to get your son or daughter back on the court or the field. But what do you do when you saw your child's head bounce across the field or bounce across the court, and there's necessarily not an injury to the brain, there's not any emergency situation? Should you get your child checked? And we believe that you should. Many times when that happens, your child's spine, which is what's designed to protect the spinal cord so that they don't end up paralyzed out here. But what happens to that is you get a subluxation. Subluxations lead to nerve interference. Many times this nerve interference is not necessarily detectable by symptoms. Your child might have a limp, they might have a foot that turns in and out, they might not sleep well that night, they may wake up with a stiff neck or a sore body, and many times that's an indication that they have a subluxation. They should be checked by a chiropractor. So we want you to know, just follow the information. If you want your children to get checked, follow the information on the screen. That'll lead you to our website, or you can call our office, and we'll be glad to schedule a checkup. But most importantly, we want you to know that when these injuries are left untreated, many times this is what leads to maybe a further injury. So if I have a pelvis that a child falls and it tilts really bad, but I keep playing, then what happens is the length of those muscles now are changed, and that sets us up to have a deeper, bigger injury to our body. And so chiropractic in a preventative way helps us know how to prevent our injuries in the future. It also helps us if we've been injured, we can't perform to the level we should. That doesn't help our team, it definitely doesn't help our children.
One of the things that we can do for our children is make sure that we have the appropriate headgear, mouth gear, and eye gear. And then also not to let our children play through the pain. There are acute injuries, unstable injuries, overuse injuries that all end up to becoming chronic injuries. And when it becomes a chronic injury, that's when it's either a chronic subluxation or a chronic injury that's going to set us up to have a long-term subluxation complex. And the other thing that we can do is to completely understand how we can train with our children. Warm up, stretch is so vital to what we do, and understand that a weakened area, there's a 20% rule that says this is the injury that's going to be 20% of the time. It's going to continue to get injured time and time again. Plus cross-training, making sure we do multiple sports, speed training, coordination, and plyometrics. All of these things, when we train for the right sports, makes a huge difference in whether our children can remain healthy and well through it all.
You know, I'm sitting here watching these players warm up, and it makes me think about the people that are under wellness. And wellness, for those that don't know what chiropractic really is, wellness is one of those aspects that allows a person to come in on a regular basis, get checked, because I mean, I'm sitting here watching these little guys warm up, and this one guy's fallen 6 times in just warm up. And I have to sit and wonder, you know, if he's being checked on a regular basis for chiropractic, then his nervous system's going to have such a better expression through life. But if he's not, then every single one of these falls is compounding time and time again and leaving damaged nervous system to go on and on and on. I just really encourage all of you, if you're on a regular wellness chiropractic care, make sure that you get your family on it. Your nervous system is just way too important, and you know what? You can't get a new spine. You can't go to the convenience store and get a new spine. You get new teeth, you get new elbows, you get new knees, even new hips, but you can't get a new spine. Just take care of the one you have.